The three home invaders had done their research. Margaret Collins, 68, recently widowed according to Facebook. Living alone. Perfect target. What Facebook didn't show was that she'd remarried to Master Sergeant Robert Mitchell. 3 tours in Iraq, 2 Bronze Stars, 1 Purple Heart, and 0 tolerance for anyone threatening his wife. 2:14 a.m. Tuesday night, or technically Wednesday morning, Oak Valley, California. A quiet suburb where streets had names like Maple and Elm. Nice houses, retirees, young families. Crime rate near 0. Robert Mitchell was 60 years old. Margaret was 68. They'd been married 2 years. Second marriage for both. Margaret's first husband died of cancer. Robert's first wife divorced him. The Iraq tours were too much for her. That night, Robert was reading in the living room. Band of Brothers. For the 100th time. Margaret was asleep upstairs. A normal night. Jake Thompson was 28. 2 priors. Small-time burglary. Kyle Miller, 26. Drug problems. Marcus Davis, 31. Their leader. He'd done home invasions before. Never been caught. Marcus had done the planning. Found Margaret Collins on Facebook. Widows Support Group. She'd posted about her husband's death anniversary. Perfect. Old, alone, vulnerable. They entered through the back door. Jake threw a brick through the glass. Loud, but Marcus didn't care. What's an old lady gonna do? Her 911 speed versus our exit speed. We win. They were inside. Kitchen was dark. Marcus clicked on his flashlight. Jewelry's in the bedroom. Jake, you stay down here. Kyle, with me. Robert put down his book. Listened. Footsteps. At least 3. 1 staying in the kitchen, 2 heading for the stairs. He called to his wife. Calm, conversational tone. Honey, go to the safe room. Margaret woke instantly. She knew that tone. No discussion, no questions. Go. The safe room was actually the spare bedroom. Robert had reinforced it. Steel door, reinforced frame, phone inside. It would hold for 3 minutes. He wouldn't need more than that. Marcus heard the voice. Male voice. Shit, she's got a husband. Kyle panicked. Let's go. No, Marcus was firm. It's an old man. We can handle it. Robert stood up, folded his reading glasses, placed them on the table. His neck cracked. His wrists cracked. He was 60. His knees hurt in the mornings. His back seized up sometimes. But muscle memory was still 20 years old. Still in Fallujah, Ramadi, Sadr City. 2 men appeared at the top of the stairs. Marcus and Kyle. Marcus had a knife. Kyle had a baseball bat. Robert smiled. Gentlemen, you have 10 seconds to leave my house. Marcus laughed. Or what, Grandpa? You gonna beat us to death? Robert shook his head. Number. Not to death. Just to the hospital. 9 seconds. Kyle hesitated. Marcus, maybe we should go. Shut up! Marcus lunged forward with the knife. Robert moved. Old didn't mean slow. His right hand caught Marcus's wrist. Twisted. The knife dropped. Same motion, knee to solar plexus. Marcus's breath left him. He crumpled. Kyle swung the bat. Didn't even come close. Robert went under it, swept Kyle's legs. Kyle went down hard. Head hit the floor. Out cold. Jake ran from the kitchen. Saw Robert. Stopped. Freeze! Police! Robert raised an eyebrow. No, you're not. Police say, freeze, not stop. And you don't have a gun. Jake's hand went to his pocket, pulled out a switchblade. Robert sighed. Really, son? Jake charged. Robert sidestepped, caught Jake's arm, threw him over his shoulder. Judo. Basic throw. Jake hit the ground hard. Total elapsed time, 45 seconds. Robert got zip ties from the kitchen. Why were there zip ties in the kitchen? Marine habit. Always be prepared. He tied all three, professionally. Can't escape, but won't cut circulation. He went upstairs, knocked on the safe room door. All clear, sweetheart. Margaret came out, looked down. 3 men on the floor. Are you hurt? No. Are they? They'll live. Call 911. Tell them 3 ambulances. Margaret picked up the phone. Calm. This wasn't their first time. Once in Vegas, once in San Diego. When you're married to Robert, you get used to certain things. 911, what's your emergency? 3 men broke into our home. My husband subdued them. They need medical attention. Is your husband injured? Margaret looked at Robert. He'd picked up his book, resumed reading. Number, he's fine. 15 minutes later, the street was full of police cars. First to arrive was Officer Davis, young, fresh out of academy. He saw 3 men on the floor, saw Robert on the couch reading. You did this? Robert turned a page. They defended themselves. Davis didn't understand. Then Sergeant Miller arrived. Vietnam vet, understood the situation immediately. Marine? Robert nodded. 3 tours, 03-09. Which unit? 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines. Miller whistled. Get some. Aura. Marcus was groaning. He tried to kill us. Miller looked at him. No, son. If he wanted you dead, you'd be dead. Mr. Mitchell, we'll need your statement. Robert closed his book. Of course, Jake spoke up, with difficulty. I was in Fallujah, 2004. I remember him. Everyone turned to Jake. You were military? Miller asked. Yeah, 1st Marines. Jake looked at Robert. You saved my squad leader, street fight, April 2004. Robert looked at Jake carefully. Which street? Route, Michigan, near the mosque. Robert nodded. I remember. Bad day. Jake was crying now. Sergeant Williams, you carried him out, on your back, under fire. Is Williams okay? Yeah, married, 3 kids. Because of me? No, Robert said sharply. Not because of you, because of your choices. Williams made right choices. You made wrong ones. Jake hung his head. I know. I'm sorry. Really. I didn't know. Not knowing doesn't change anything. You broke into someone's home. You scared my wife. Sergeant Miller took Jake's information. He really had been in Fallujah. PTSD, unemployment. Went down the wrong path. Robert stood up, walked over to Jake, leaned down. Marine to Marine, I'm going to tell you something. This is your Wake Island. Either you turn it around here, or you fall forever. Choose. Jake nodded. I'll try to turn it around. I swear. Don't swear. Do. Police took the 3 men away. Marcus and Kyle were arrested. For Jake, Miller arranged something different. Veterans Court, treatment program, second chance. The street quieted down. Neighbors were watching from windows. Robert and Margaret went inside. Want some tea? Margaret asked. Sure. They sat in the kitchen. Broken glass still on the floor. I'll get it fixed tomorrow, Robert said. No rush. Margaret held his hand. Were you scared? Robert thought about it. But when they scared you? Yes, that scared me. Why? Because I was afraid of losing you. In Fallujah, in Ramadi, I was never that scared. Margaret squeezed his hand. I'm not going anywhere. I know, but I'm still reinforcing the safe room. Margaret laughed. Fine, but let's sleep first. They went upstairs. Robert checked every window, every door. Habit. They got into bed. Margaret fell asleep immediately. She felt safe. Robert couldn't sleep. He was thinking about Jake, about Fallujah, about Williams. Then he looked at Margaret, sleeping peacefully. This is what he'd fought for. This is what he'd come home for. This. In the morning, local news ran the story. 60-year-old Marine stops 3 home invaders. Robert didn't do interviews, didn't want cameras. But Jake did an interview. From jail. "That man's a hero," he said. "Not just for last night, for every day, for every Marine. I lost my way, but he reminded me of the path. I'm going to get better. I owe him. I owe Sergeant Williams." The video went viral, but Robert didn't watch it. That day he continued his normal routine, mowed the lawn, went to the store, had lunch with Margaret. That evening, the doorbell rang. Robert answered. A man stood there, 40s, in uniform, Sergeant Williams. "Sir," Williams said, "Jake called me. I wanted to thank you. Again." Robert extended his hand. "No thanks necessary, Marine." "There is, sir. For Fallujah and for Jake. You might save him. He'll save himself, or he won't. His choice." Williams nodded. "Yes, sir, but thank you for giving him the chance." That night, Robert and Margaret sat quietly, watched TV, talked about normal things. But everyone in Oak Valley knew now. If you're going to break into a house, know whose house you're breaking into. Because in some houses, Marines live, and Marines never really retire from duty. They just change addresses. 3 months later, Jake graduated from rehab, got a job, started attending veterans meetings, sent Robert a letter. "Sir, I made it to the other side. Still fighting, but winning. Thank you for the wake-up call. Literally. Semper Fi." Robert read it, showed it to Margaret, smiled. "Think he'll make it?" she asked. "He's a Marine. We're hard to kill, even when we're trying to kill ourselves." Margaret kissed his cheek. "My hero?" "No," Robert said. "Just a Marine who picked the right house to defend. And in Oak Valley, California, everyone knew. The Mitchell house was the wrong house to rob. Some lessons you learn in school, some you learn in combat, and some you learn on the floor, zip-tied, looking up at a 60-year-old Marine who could have killed you but chose to save you instead. Jake learned all 3.